welcome to an all-new episode of the MCR. I'm so excited for this episode. I think we all felt the same about this episode, right? We'd all twerk for Megan.
No.
Trayvon, you don't count. You don't have a say here. I
Absolutely
think we
not.
would all twerk for Megan. I think the only thing about this episode that was hard to believe was her boss looking at it and then just walking away. I damn sure would have grabbed popcorn and just, hung out for a little bit, not said anything to make it weird, just, stared, I'm just saying that might have been me. But welcome everybody to an all new episode of MCR. Today we'll be breaking down episode 3 of She-Hulk. All right, episode 3. It feels like before you know it, we'll be at episode 6. Then we'll be dreading the idea that it might be forever again before we get our next MCU show. Ugh. I know Mike's loving that, though. Mike, why do I keep calling you out? It's crazy, right? Let me introduce my panel before we get into this episode. Starting off with Didge. What's up, Didge?
Not much. College football is back. I've been messing around with this AI art thing. It's been an interesting day.
Ooh, I want to know a little bit more about that AI thing. I want to know more about that, but we'll talk off air because I want to know more about that. And Mike, I will not leave you out of this. The day that you said you had MCU fatigue, I will never forget it. Sorry, that will never sit right with my soul. Next up, Prime. What's going on, Prime?
Had better days, but I'm good. I'm here. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
We're not doing this, man. We're not doing this.
I literally said I'm sorry, guys.
Today is a day of twerktacular, and that is how we will always address this day, as the twerktacular. Okay, it's a holiday.
I now understand why Joel has not said anything yet.
I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I will go to Joel last. Let him process a few more things about life. Next up is easily. I thought it used to be AJ, but easily the person that Dave Chappelle made the Haters Club about. That would be our number one resident hater, Trayvon. What's up, Trayvon?
Back to Hogwarts Day was today, and got some news about Hogwarts Legacy. Check out the TikTok or the short about that.
Absolutely.
That was the most exciting thing that happened today, and that's it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I definitely don't know about that. But you were group Gryffindor, right? You got grouped as Gryffindor?
Yeah, well, I've been Gryffindor for a while.
Ugh. Team Slytherin up in this mug. Team Slytherin. Gang.
Right.
Yeah, you got damn right. It sounds about right. Damn right, Trayvon, hater. All right, last but definitely not least. Somebody I'm sure is very excited that we have this show to talk about as a buffer. Joel, what's going on, Joel?
What's going on? Everyone sounds a little low today, or maybe I'm just deaf today. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll turn up my.
There is an extreme sadness definitely between three of us. So I mean, that might be where it's coming from a little bit. I won't argue that.
I feel for you guys. I'm sad.
I don't want your
spirit.
pity. I don't need your pity.
It's not pity.
Move on.
I'm sad in spirit.
Unless you're willing to sacrifice your star player to feel.
I'm not.
like
you can stop the
feel,
sentence now.
Then we don't need your help.
Something happened in sport?
Go ahead, Joel.
No, that's it. I mean, hi, hello.
Joel wanted.
It looks like you got a fresh shave.
I did.
There you go.
One positive.
It looks nice.
And now I have to take back the last but definitely not least. Jamie popped in, as I said, last but definitely not least.
I was looking for the link. I was looking for the I'm like, where is it?
No. You are fine. I'm just saying I just said last but definitely not least, but I will reserve that for you. Last but definitely not least, Jamie, what's going on, Jamie?
Nothing much, Been chilling most of the day. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this episode.
Absolutely. I can guarantee you will enjoy everybody but Trayvon's. All right, let's get right into this. Let's start off with... I want to start off with something new for this because I think it's obviously the question of everybody's mind coming out of this episode. So I want to start off. I'm going to ask everybody individually before I go into your actual thoughts on the episode. So the question of the day is, who do we think the Wrecking Crew works for, and why were they after She-Hulk's blood? I will start off with the only person who I thought would have changed their name by now, but they didn't because they're disrespectful. Born Ready, you will start off by telling us who you think the Wrecking Crew works for and why they're after She-Hulk's blood.
Well, considering how terrible at their job they seem to be, it's hard to pick one specific person that would hire them. Yeah. Especially you would consider, like, why would you hire them of all people? Do they come recommended?
To be fair to the Wrecking Crew, because you know I love them, there was a group called the Tracksuit Mafia who was maybe slightly better. Yeah. Slightly better.
But they were like a mafia. At least there's some time they were dumb, but they looked like they were brutes. These guys.
That's fair.
You know, I don't know. That's fair. I did like their enchanted construction tools, like where they pulled that shit out of. I do like that they kept that narrative about them, and they used their names because I wasn't sure they were gonna actually call themselves by their name. They called them Thunderball. I was like, very cool, very very cool. But for sure, I would say, I want to believe it's the leader only because it's the fucking leader and we haven't seen him forever. You know what I mean? And she wants something they want the blood. He's obsessed with that Hulk blood. We've heard rumors of maybe future World War Hulk movies that might involve more Hulks in the future. Who knows? So that's what I'm assuming. It might be a Hulk villain this time around. Either that or, yeah, I don't want it to be anybody else really.
I mean, that's genius. We know the last time we saw him, he was sitting in a room surrounded by Hulk blood. Yeah. When Bruce is just like, yeah, you got to get rid of this shit. I can't let you explode this or give this out. Crazy. This gotta go. And the last we saw him, his head was growing. It'd be nice to know what that shit looks like. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? That'd be a nice, little. Well, what did he turn into? And clearly, we would see his obsession because you could look at it as he viewed Bruce's blood as tainted. You could look at Jennifer's blood as the purest form of what you were trying to replicate with Bruce's, right? So I could see, and because we don't know the status of the leader, does he have the same status, money, following? He might be broke as hell and said, shit, these are the only guys I can hire. Like, I ain't got no crew, I ain't got no money. Hydra's obviously gone or far, far, far into the darkness. So I could see the leader hiring the Wrecking Crew. Now, I'm glad that you said that, Mike, in the chat. I originally was thinking Wilson Fisk, but I was only thinking Wilson Fisk because I was wondering how do you get Daredevil into the show. But I forgot that from the early trailers we saw, Frogman is in this show.
Leapfrog.
So, well, I think they might call him Frogman in this show.
I think that they corrected it because everyone was calling him Frogman, and the guy that's playing him called him Leapfrog.
Wow. So wait, in the comics, was he Leapfrog or Frogman? He was Frogman, right?
He went from Frogman and became Leapfrog. I think
okay.
I think is what happened.
I could see if they go the route that this is the son, that the father was Frogman and he became Leapfrog to be his own person. I can see that. But I forgot Leapfrog's connection to Daredevil in the comics. So they could go that route, and that's how Daredevil gets here. It doesn't mean it has anything to do with Wilson Fisk. Which to me I'm fine, because I don't know if I need Fisk in Hawkeye, Echo, Daredevil, it's to me that's just a little bit too much, too soon, right? I'll get tired of Wilson Fisk. So I'd much rather it be the leader, even though I won't rule out Val. I could see Val doing it because the Wrecking Crew would be the perfect group of idiots to do this, that it does not trace back to Val, right? Like, you get somebody a little bit too skilled, too many questions get asked. You get some idiots who stole from Asgard, and it's kind of like, well, you don't really need much explaining there. They're just idiots, right? It doesn't necessarily have to get tracked back. So I'm going to go Val, even though in my heart I need it to be the leader, because I think the leader is the easiest way to get the Hulk back to the form a lot of us want him to be. So I'm like, I think that is just better for me. But Didge, I'll go to you next. Who do you think was behind the Wrecking Crew?
I was thinking the leader too. It's the one that makes the most sense, mainly because that's the person we know is the most obsessed with Hulk blood.
Right.
And to what you were saying earlier, that was the thought that I was going. Well, Hulk, his is impure, hers would be the pure form, and now, I think you can sort of. I think the public will can understand that, like, she came out the gate controlling this, so they're looking at. Clearly, she's better at this.
Right.
We didn't have to deal with these years of someone going crazy. So they're thinking, okay, she's the perfection of it. So we want that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it feels too obvious, right?
Fair.
And that's what always scares me about the MCU, is when that shit seems like, oh, we know exactly who this is, who's behind it. There's always a swerve,
Fair.
right? That's why I wanted to add in Val, because I'm like, Val would be the swerve that they give us, right? That would be the swerve.
But then
maybe
why?
Val,
I got a swerve for you.
I'm gonna go right to you, Trayvon.
Well,
I would
not
say,
the power broker. I'm all right.
oh yeah, that would have never came out of my mouth. But that could be the fucking swerve, but it would never come out of my
really
mouth.
could.
I could see Val, if they wanted to course correct, obviously with William Hurt passing, and they're creating a Red Hulk, I could see her wanting that blood to see if she can. Because look, this a version of the Super Soldier Serum we saw essentially got obliterated in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that the Power Broker was trying to get her hands on, right? So I'm like, it could be, well, shit, I don't have to worry about getting vials of that bullshit anymore. Just go take it directly from She-Hulk.
Right.
Right? Bottle it up. Let's see what the hell we can do here. Watch, Joel, knowing our luck, it'll be the leader and Val. It'll be the leader working for
I
Val.
just thought they gave up on Red Hulk, to be honest.
To me, I kind of feel like you don't have to.
Yeah.
Because too many things you've changed in the MCU. So it doesn't have to be Ross. It doesn't
Right.
have to be. You
I
know?
mean, I would have preferred it, but now you know.
I mean, and to be fair, they may just recast him.
To me, I honestly wouldn't want them to do that. I'm fine with you just making Red Hulk somebody else.
Or just making him Red Hulk and he never goes back to being Ross again. You know what I mean?
Also true. You could just do
that would be interesting because it'd be the first. I never thought I'd see Abomination as Blonsky again. So it's like the fact that he could just go, I'm human, I'm Abomination. I'm human, I'm Abomination. It's like I don't like that at all.
They also, I guess, they switched their characteristics. I guess.
I mean, I get why they did it. Like Joel always said about Sandman, they just don't want to pay to have you as this monster to the entirety.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I get
CGI this series.
Yeah. But okay, so we got the leader so far. Trayvon, I promise I'd go to you next. Who do you think is behind Wrecking Crew?
The way these shows are going, I honestly feel like it'll just be Titania.
I agree.
I just don't see it being anything like elaborate like that. Like I just really feel like it'll wind up being Titania just because she's mad about her stopping her in the courtroom that day. Like we know Titania's coming back, so it's like, of course she would hire these idiots.
What's your connection though to her wanting her blood?
I don't know. Maybe she's smart. Maybe she just acts like she's a ditz. Maybe she actually is smart and has an idea to use it. You never know. Like, but I really don't think it'll be anything. That's like the first thing I thought of when the boss, whatever they said. I was, oh, this is probably Titania. Like I didn't think of anybody else. To be honest. Like so. That's
anybody else.
I think the only reason I say that is because like she just came in the courtroom out of nowhere and now she's just like gone. They have to make it some reason why she was in the show in the first place. Otherwise, it was like, what was the point?
I thought she was hired too, though. That's why.
Well, that's why I think you guys are differing, Joel. I think you're saying you believe she was hired, probably by Holloway, and I think Trayvon and Jamie are saying they think Titania is the
mastermind,
right? That's doing hiring. Unless I'm putting words in you guys' mouth, I apologize.
No, all influencers aren't stupid. You know, you never know.
I'm not saying they're stupid.
I don't know. She is the mastermind, but at least with like the trying to get some blood out. I'm like, who could it be that's already been in the show? Like Titania, I guess. I don't know.
They got a whole Twitter account for her. Like, they got to do something with her.
I mean, look, I
Main
will,
antagonist for sure.
as much as I would like to hear what Jamie and Trayvon are saying and argue it, again, I did just watch a show where my first thought was they're going to get way more creative than the most obvious fucking choice. And it ended being the most obvious fucking choice. So at this point, I don't know. Like, to me, it could be something super creative, like the leader, and it's like, oh shit, that's dope. Or Val, right? Or maybe even Wilson Fisk out of nowhere. But Titania, very well could be. I have no argument against it. Very well could be. And maybe they make it make sense towards the end, and it's like, oh, okay.
After Power Broker, I will not hold anything against them.
That's what I'm saying, Joel. That's what I'm saying. At this point, it's just like, well, I've seen the dumb shit, so why not double down on it, right? but Prime, I'll go to you next. Who do you think is behind this wrecking crew? Who do you think their boss was?
I'm still riding with the leader, and just for nothing else more than the fact that I was picturing how, we know this is serious, but it's a comedy as well, and I can actually see the leader in a somewhat comedic sense.
I could too.
Fitting very well into
especially if they get the same actor.
I'm rolling with the leader.
Yeah, if they get the same actor, I 100% could see him being like Blonsky, being not overly comedic, but a lot more lighthearted than the last time we saw those
Right.
actors.
He was kind of weird, kooky, kind of
right.
funny.
That's what I'm saying. I could see it a lot more comedy, a lot more comedy driven. Obviously,
plus you need more weirdness. Like the MCU and comic book movies in general are way too serious. Comics are not that. Well, a lot of comics aren't as serious. Yeah, that's why I already had to stop myself. Right. But you get a lot more weirdness in the comics than you do in any of these.
And now that I'm thinking about it, all we saw is his head start to grow. We assumed it fully grown. He became the leader, right?
Right.
What if her blood is what finalizes his evolution to becoming the leader? Because he has to turn green somehow, right? So I'm like, if he isn't already, right? If he isn't already, it's so funny because when I think of the leader, I weirdly think of the smart mouth character from fucking Harley Quinn. Like, that's the voice I hear.
Me too.
That's exactly what I think of when I think the leader. I shouldn't, but that's the first thing I think of. But welcoming in Dom. What's going on, Dom?
What up, man?
What's going on, man? So walk us through, man. Who do you think's behind this wrecking crew that apparently is looking to steal She-Hulk's blood?
So initially, I was thinking someone like Val, but I'm gonna throw a curveball into the mix.
Okay.
And say, because of what I've read about her beef with She-Hulk, and we see her in this episode, and she looked kind of salty, I'm going to say Mallory Book.
Oh.
And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
already?
Because I don't trust old people in the MCU. She works for an old dude. And if there is some kind of maybe a finesse with Titania, it could be all connected, and she was brought there to be set up in the first place.
I mean, I will say this. Knowing the She-Hulk comics, there's a lot of people that have been introduced so far. You can make an argument shouldn't be trusted. One being the guy she works for. So
Holloway, yep.
It is very likely she will turn around and go, I cannot trust any of you motherfuckers here. Like, none of you.
And he's always checking on her. Every time we see him, he's walking by her office and looking, what's she doing? What's going on? You know what I mean? And we don't really get like a sense of like, oh, she's doing a good job. It's always just like, what is she doing? So I don't know. I don't trust dude, man.
I don't
It never feels like I need to see how my worker is doing. He just comes and looks and just goes, all right, and then walks off.
I bet you now he's gonna check on that office a little bit more. Go in there, working? All right, hell yeah. What's on there doing?
Meg's a client. I'm going in.
He just lies when he gets in there. Oh, sorry, I had a case for you. I didn't mean to interrupt. It's like, well, no, we saw you standing there for like 30 minutes. Oh shit, you saw me? Damn. But no, I mean, I definitely see the weirdness that he's embracing there. But to go back really quickly before I go to everybody's thoughts on the episode, Mike might not be that far off when it comes to Wilson Fisk, right? So, Joel, obviously we've heard the rumors that Kingpin and Echo might be running for mayor. Running for mayor. And again, what's the one thing, Joel, we always say has never been talked about since Civil War? The Sokovia Accords. It is very possible somebody in this government system wants a group that they can control and send out. I would not put it past Wilson Fisk to have his ear to the ground, hear that, and want in on that somehow, right?
That'd be great.
You know what I'm saying? And he uses that as a political move to gain mayor. Like, look at this. I got a superhero defense team. Here's my point lead person and Val. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see him laying out this whole groundwork for
he's got mayor's more New York based, right?
No, it for sure is. It for sure is. It for sure is. It for sure is.
He was running for like governor or something, maybe.
Yeah, then it would definitely go there. But I mean, it's still Wilson Fisk, and I still believe that he wants his hands in the pot. And Joel, we can make an argument right now. Majority of the MCU is New York based. Even with characters we haven't even seen yet that we know we're gonna see.
Though
New York
they've tried to make it, some addition. Like right now, this is She-Hulk's in California.
Right.
Moon Knight was in London.
Which was like, all right, that's a decision to make.
Yeah, and he's from Chicago. I appreciate all those little changes. Like, well, I mean, he's from Chicago anyway, but like, he's not in New York primarily. Like we're used to Moon Knight and shit like that. And then we're making changes so that it's not everything's in New York City.
That's why I appreciate it. I wasn't so upset when Stark was trying to be more LA based, right? Like he had shit in New York, but he was trying to be more LA based. And I was like, I don't necessarily hate it. Now that we know we'll get the X-Men and Fantastic Four, and that's all New York, along with the Defenders, that's all New York. You kind of do go, well, it's a little crowded. At some point, you will go to what Trayvon always says, to where it's just like, all right, Spider-Man was getting the dog shit beat out of him, and nobody wanted to jump in. Like, all y'all in New York, nobody want to help? So I could get that. It's better to space it out a little bit.
Maybe we get West Coast Avengers going forward.
Clint needs something to do.
He's retired.
There's no such thing in the superhero.
I'm down for the West Coast Avengers, bro.
We've seen this in superhero stuff, Did you either die or you keep going. There's no retirement. Superheroes in New York. We know New York is definitely. I mean, come on, Stan Lee. You think he wasn't going to go heavy on New York? Come on now, guys.
Any other instead of West Coast Avengers? Give me Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh my God!
Lakes Avengers?
Yeah, give me them.
Unless you're gonna take it seriously, then no, not the Great Lakes.
I mean, do we need it to be serious? We're enjoying this comedy right now. Make it hilarious. Yeah, make it hilarious. Make it like Community.
Bring in Squirrel Girl.
I feel like Community. I feel like if you do Great Lakes Avengers, you have to. It can't
make it just like Community.
I'm trying to remember some of those characters, Mr.
None of them are very. None of them are.
They're
really,
not popular. Yeah.
which will make the show even more better. But all right, let's get into our thoughts on this episode as a whole. Jamie, I want to start off with you. This episode creeped me out for one specific scene. Right? We're watching Blonsky essentially tell the board, hey, I could have turned into Abomination anytime I wanted, tried to break out of here, right? I didn't. Look, I can control it. When he transforms to Abomination, you gotta catch it. The women that are his pen pals behind him get very turned on.
They do.
When he transforms. Weird. And that was the scariest Dahmer-like shit I've ever seen in my life. I was just like, ew, y'all nasty. What's y'all numbers? But anyway, Jamie, what were your thoughts on this crazy episode 3 of She-Hulk?
I didn't even notice that the women were like doing anything crazy because I was looking at like Blonsky, but then I watched the episode again like in the past hour or so, and like the end credits like pictures with all the like different scenes that happen, and one of them is like all the women like sitting there like, oh, abomination. And I was like, wait, what? I'm like, that's okay, all right, interesting. But you know, I was not as happy with this episode as I have with the previous two. I felt like we were kind of just going in a whole lot of different directions. Let me see. Let me look at my notes. Like the biggest thing, I don't know who the elf lady is, and I don't care. Why do we spend time talking about that? Like, I think that was an excuse just to get Megan the Stallion on the show, which, you know, I like Meg.
Pretty sure
You could have put her into the show in any kind of way, but I don't think that was it. That was just like,
I will say the one thing about using the Elfling that is interesting is we did see in Spider-Man No Way Home that it was on the television somewhere saying political turmoil in New Asgard, right? So having Elflings come out of New Asgard causing trouble could lead to some division between New Asgard and essentially the rest of the world, right? So I'm like, that might be something we see played out over
keep
the course.
Your people in check.
Yeah, it's like keep your fucking people where they fucking belong and not causing chaos out here.
They're on our world.
So to me, I only liked it for the. I don't disagree with you. It was clearly a way to get Meg the Stallion, but I'll never, have a problem with that. But I will say it does go into that. It did say that there was some political turmoil that we obviously didn't see in Thor: Love and Thunder, right? So it's like, well, when did this political turmoil happen? And what caused it? So this might have been one of the things, not the only thing, but one of the things that caused division for the government to go, you gotta keep people in Asgard. Don't let them out.
I think it would have been better if they didn't have to go the route where I don't even remember his name and I don't care to remember it. I don't like this character. The guy that's always bullying Jen. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Dennis, yeah.
If it was something different where like she had done something and she had to go to court for it, and like Jen was representing her, or like Jen was going against her, then I'm like, okay, sure, like let's present the political turmoil as happening this way. But to be like, yeah, she shapeshifted into Megan Thee Stallion so that she could like rob this dude of all his money. Like, I don't care. Let's talk about something that matters. Like, we only have 9 episodes
to fair,
tell a
story.
A
very accurate thing for them to portray, because I think most, if not every man, would have been duped, right? We would have, yeah, I could land Meg the Stallion. I could land it for sure. I tell you right now, I'd be duped very easily. I wouldn't even think of a shapeshifter the first. Are you serious? Come on.
I don't.
I believe she has to come back into play at some point, right? I mean, they made a point that she can shapeshift into anybody, so I feel like they're gonna use her again at some point.
Yeah.
Probably. Put her in jail for now.
So maybe I'll feel differently later, but right now I'm just like, why do we waste time talking about this woman? Like, okay.
Mike does make a good point.
Elf-scene felt like a Shield moment.
That elf scene felt like a classic Agents of Shield moment. That is very true. That is very true. Very true. Go ahead,
I also didn't really like how, or I guess what's happening with Abomination's character and how he's kind of like similar to Bruce, kind of like softening up and like he's able to control it. Well, Bruce not so much, but Abomination can. And I like both. I don't know as much about Abomination as I do about the Hulk, but both of these characters are supposed to be like rampaging maniacs, like no think, just do, smash, like kind of characters. And we see them like freaking flower petals in their hair, 7 pin pals, and like, bro, what is this? Like the only hope we have left is She-Hulk. And at this point, I was talking with my mom about this show a little bit, and I don't know if she's seen this recent episode, but she said this about like episode 2. She's like, all right, like, I get it, Jen is kind of cool, but I'm kind of here to see more like superhero stuff, and right now I'm just watching a lawyer show. At this point, I'm kind of getting to the same place where I'm like, I think I see more of Jen than I do of She-Hulk. Absolutely like Jen, but like, I need She-Hulk in my She-Hulk, please.
I don't necessarily have an argument against that, but I tell you what, you getting a lawyer show will not slow down. It will dive.
I'm fine with that, but
you want more so She-Hulk being the lawyer.
You want She-Hulk in action, is what you want.
Yeah, I kind of want more She-Hulk being in action. Because I think the lawyer stuff is cool, but like I guess lawyer oriented entertainment I watch is more like serious, like character like shows that have characters that are lawyers that I watch are more serious, and so I'm able to take it more seriously. And then we have like episodes in this where you go in court and it's like, I thought I was dating Megan Thee Stallion, that's why I gave her so much money. And I'm like,
Well,
I don't know, I'm a little bit frustrated with how the show is going right now.
I think I would agree if they didn't specify early on that comedy was really their only motivating factor for the episode. I mean, for
This is true.
You know, so like they made it very clear it's going to be more sitcom driven, right? So it's like I look, and again, I will say this. I don't know this for a fact, Jamie, at all, but I will say this is like something to maybe look forward to. Abomination could be lying.
That's what I'm hoping.
You know
I'm
what
hoping
saying?
like
So-
either he was involved with the blood or like he's really just trying to get out so he can tear some stuff up, or I don't know.
I
But-
mean, because if Wong is telling the truth, that, you know, they sparred and Wong offered him his freedom, and Blonsky said no. He said no because he'd much rather be a free man causing chaos than a wanted man causing chaos, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, at any point, that's why the MCU, in the way that it structures itself, is sometimes perfect and annoying. Because you could have Abomination here be as soft as a rose petal, right? And then in the very next project, like let's say World War Hulk, he could be this ravaged, raging monster, right? Because he's a psychopath, essentially, to a degree. So he can switch up. So I'm saying, to me, I think what's more frustrating is not necessarily knowing who the definitive villain is for this show yet. Because, like, if I knew it was Abomination, I would agree with you, right? But if it's not Abomination and they leave his story to be answered somewhere else, I'm fine. Because it gives whoever the next person is to deal with him a chance to open it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think until we know who the real villain is, for me, that's yes, we got a lot of that. We got some Brussels sprout twerks up in here. But to me, it's more so just a wait and see. But I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just need to see where they go. Because they could change it up in like the next 2 episodes. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So that's the only reason why I'm giving them, you know, some room to kind of not improve it, but expand it, you know?
I think that's like and I wasn't feeling like this frustrated with like the previous 2 episodes, but because I think they were trying so hard to like, I guess, go a little bit deeper into like the comedy of the show. Me personally, I don't find it all that funny, so that makes it more frustrating because it's like you're somebody that's trying to be funny and I don't think you're funny, but you're still going, and I'm like, at this point, let's not. But you know, Marvel has been funny in the past, so I don't have any doubts that they can't turn it around. But I don't know. It's been like, I think the other thing is just like my history with the previous shows that we've watched. Like they always have like a pretty strong start, I would say, and then right around episode 3 or 4, like they just kind of lose their way. And I don't know if it's like me having PTSD from that and being like, damn it, here they go. We're just talking about something else now. Or I don't know what it is, but yeah, this episode was a little bit of a disappointment. Like, still enjoyed it, but not gonna be one of my favorites, at least as of now.
So, are you a fan of like The Office and Modern Family? Like, did you find those funny?
I've watched I watched The Office a little and Modern Family also a little bit. I thought those were like moderately funny. So
okay. No, I only asked because this show kind of caters itself more towards those, to where instead of a confessional, it's more so just pausing the world around her and just talking to you directly. But it's kind of not supposed to be. Let me not speak for the writers, but it seems like the comedy is catered to those kinds of sitcoms. So that's why I was asking, because like if you found them funny, I was gonna say, well, maybe give it more time to kind of flesh itself out a little bit more. But if you're like, they were okay, then I don't think this will get increasingly more funny for you. I think right where you're at is pretty much where you're.
I don't know, and it's not like I don't think I think the biggest issue for me is just like the events that are taking place. Like spending so much time or like taking time out to talk about this elf lady. I was like, whatever about the previous 2 episodes, and like, yeah, they're cool. So hopefully it's just more things that are going to be directly related to the main story from now on. Because again, like these series are very short. So anything they do to go off the beat or off the path of like telling the story, I'm like, I don't care about this right now.
But that's what's so interesting about She-Hulk. We don't know what the one linear story is. Because what we're supposed to think the one linear story is the life of a superhero lawyer. And that's what we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know you're saying we're not getting enough of the superhero part of the superhero lawyer, but we're just seeing courtroom, you know? So I'm like, that's why I said it's a little frustrating not knowing who the definitive villain is, because it's like I don't know who I'm supposed to be focusing in on, and that's to me what some of the interesting fun of it is, not knowing who it is, and some of the frustration, because I'm like, I want to know who it is so I can hone on what they mean to She-Hulk, what they mean to the MCU as a whole. But again, we're only 3 episodes in out of 9, so we'll get there soon. You know, I don't think they'll make us wait till like the last 3, and then it's like, this is the villain now.
I hope so.
So I mean,
hope
to
so.
me, I would definitely just say, you know, definitely just try to be patient with it. But I could never argue characters being useless for the sake of being useless. But again, maybe it means a little bit more. You know, maybe it means a little bit more.
I know. I felt kind of bad because I was like, dang, this is the first She-Hulk episode I'm on, and I'm like, this is the one that I wasn't feeling so much. So I'm just
nothing wrong with that.
Bringing in the negative energy.
No, there's nothing wrong with that
It's
at
okay.
all.
We're used to it in some parts.
We're used to the chaos of it in some parts. But no, to me, it's I look at it like, if it's not catching you, it's not catching. It's not like you came in here and was like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I hate it. Like, no, you're just saying it's not vibing with me right now. I don't have any problem with that at all. I don't have any problem with that. I would just hope that it gets better for you as it goes. I like that it's 9 and not like 6. And it's like, well, shit, we're halfway through and Jamie's like, it's a no. Right? So it's like, we got a little bit more for you to kind of expand on whether or not you like it. So, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay hoping that it gets better for you.
Yeah. I got hope.
I hope so. All right. So, Prime, I want to go to you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a funny question for me, right? So, Wong is a very interesting individual, right? Because Wong said 2 things that I thought were very interesting that I think not enough people are talking about. First thing was, Wong said, kidnapped him because I needed a sparring partner, right? You know, essentially on my trials to becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. We had already thought he was a Sorcerer Supreme a long time ago, right? So that was weird. Second part that was weird was the fact that he acknowledged how messy it was the last time they tried to wipe people's brains.
Yeah.
I thought people lost memory of the fact that people were wiped of their memories.
Right.
I'm very interested how Wong is still in that loop, unless the theory that a lot of people had, which was Doctor Strange made everybody forget except for him and Wong.
Didn't think about that.
You know, people said that when the movie first came out, like, why would Doctor Strange wipe his own memory, right? Like, wouldn't he want to still have that knowledge of who Spider-Man is in case Spider-Man tries to start some shit up again or whatever the case may be? But for me, I was under the impression that Strange was saying everybody has to forget in order for this to work, including me.
Indeed.
Right? So it was just very confusing. Now, I did hear some people go with the logic of what Wong meant by that is he remembers how messy he told Strange it would get, not how messy it actually played out to be. He just remembers, I told you don't do it because a whole bunch of crazy shit could happen, right? Crazy shit ended up happening. So all Wong remembers is that he warned you not to do crazy shit and crazy shit happened. He doesn't remember
what
who caused it. Yeah, what happened, the what of it. So what are your thoughts on that, and then your thoughts on this episode?
Well, you caught me because I didn't even think about that, but that's deep. That's deep. I guess it could be either way. I mean, I guess it could be either way. Maybe he remembers some of it. I don't know. That's. How much does he remember?
Maybe remembered everything except Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That'd be funny
Good
as
point.
hell. Picture he's just sitting there talking to Spider-Man about the chaos
Yeah.
over the Statue of Liberty, and Peter's sitting there just like, "Do you remember me?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're Spider-Man." He's like, "No,
No, but what
under here." Like, no, I don't remember. I don't know who you are. It's like,
But
alright,
maybe
you
that's why he
remember
thinks it was
everything
so chaotic because he's like,
Yeah,
we did a
that's
lot
it,
of
yeah.
stuff, but I don't know who we did this for. Like,
else. Right.
Yeah.
we did a lot of stuff
Yeah.
for somebody.
The face is very blurry in my head.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, I can't
peg
piece
it.
it together. I
get it all
remember
together till I
though,
get to right here.
because we do know from Multiverse of Madness that they remember working with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it. That's where it ends. That's it. I don't remember nothing else. Like, that's why I thought it was hilarious when Chavez asked him, like, do webs come out of his butt? And he's like, no, but I don't really know. I don't really remember. Like, maybe. That makes that even funnier to know that they remember a lot up to a point. So, like,
Yeah.
Strange might have been sitting there like, I remember talking to Spider-Man. I remember saving the day. I don't remember if webs came out of his ass. That's not the part that I remember. I don't remember that.
Not
But
where I
maybe.
normally see them come.
Yeah, that's not usually where I saw it.
Get
but,
back to me.
You know, never.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, let me try to remember, and we'll talk later. But no. So your thoughts on the episode?
So I sort of agree with Jamie, just with the point that it was my least favorite of the episodes, but I did not like it. You know, I thought it was okay. I thought it was cool. I still only, I'm gonna probably watch it again when we're done with this. So I caught it earlier this morning, but I thought it was okay. I think the things that I took out of it were probably a little more comical than what's a comedy series, so I guess it makes sense. But first of all, excuse me, ladies, but we found out that your boy Emil got hoes. I mean, that's just what he got hoes.
Mhm.
So shout out to the cat, area codes and the whole nine. I'm a tutor. I thought it was really great with Nikki though. Nikki Ramos, the slick line that she had with when they were looking Wong up.
Yeah,
The thirst trap out there.
That's
He
why you
read a bunch of books.
that's why you saw Wong jump out of the portal like,
right?
where's she at? It's like, Wong, she's not here. He's like, all right, I guess I'll help you with this fucking case. Like, I'm not here for this shit. I'm here for the thirst trap. Where's she at? Like,
He's listed here as the sorcerer supreme, but also the librarian.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Thirst trap,
Whatever.
right?
And shout out to Wong for working at Target. I did spend a lot of my right after high school working at Target too. So Team Red out here. I feel you, Wong. You know what I'm saying?
I also learned that Wong is really from the streets because Wong knew all along. I'm not standing around here. So when they tried to implement, okay.
I gotta go.
Wong
And the
said,
rest of
y'all
the
got
census
me
group.
fucked up. Y'all got me all
really
the way
thought?
fucked up. And I love how they just sat there like, all right, well.
Yeah, they
Not
that
after.
was a good try, I guess.
Let's
We'll get him next time.
When Wong finally gets his series, he's just gonna be on the run. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they gonna put him on Disney Plus. He's gonna be
I
on the
go
run.
stay
for the whole
inside the
thing.
sanctum when I go to New York.
That's how Doctor Strange will become Sorcerer Supreme again. Is because Wong's on the run. He can't stay in the sanctum all day.
And I guess I guess probably a lot of people caught it that I love when Jim was leaving out from seeing Emil, and then they were questioning her. Is it true this happened? Is it true this happened? Is it true you got your powers from a botched mafia hit?
That was
Which
great.
was a nod to her actual,
Yeah.
the real how she really got her powers in the comics.
That was cool.
Messing with your boy Trask, Nicholas Trask. And then I don't know, and something kind of funny. Megan Thee Stallion situation, right?
Don't get
And of
Trayvon
course-
upset.
Yeah,
Don't
I
get
got it.
Trayvon upset. Don't get him
Yeah.
upset.
Should have been
My bad.
Don't get him upset.
Hey,
Don't get
look.
him upset.
But the Meg situation, right?
Mm.
And she's sitting here, she's agreeing to a contract whether they're signing. she's signing her to rep. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, first, what is she going to represent her about? But then I thought about this. It'll never happen because we have yet really to get the X-Men and anything. But she's in the music business, right?
Yes.
Dazzler needs some help. Your girl, Meg, puts her on. Hey, you got to holler at my lawyer. We going to have it. Well, so we get Dazzler at some point. So there it is.
One day I did think about, though, like, she's a superhuman division. Why would she sign Megan Thee Stallion if she's not a super?
Because I guarantee you,
she's a superstar.
She's something.
Well, no, not only that, it's just a high profile, right?
Yeah.
Like it's massively high profile.
That's
So
a big
if you're,
bonus.
because remember, what did Jen say? She wants to get back to being a regular lawyer, right? She's like, at some point, this will all die down. Once the Blonsky thing is over with, I can get back to being a regular lawyer, right? So she's like, I would love for my first defense or my first big client to be one of the biggest names out there, you know?
Word.
I don't want it to be a super villain.
And she's already dealt with superhuman identity theft. So yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
she's Meg the Stallion because she's secretly a centaur.
There you go.
She's
Could be
broke.
Maybe.
Could be happening.
Oh shit.
But no, yeah. So that's how we're gonna get Dazzler. Y'all mark that down. Y'all write that down. Put this thing on, record that. Dazzler coming.
Okay.
I love it. That
was great.
You know, I know her and Meg roll tight. Y'all just don't know yet. I'm trying to tell you.
I want to, Didge, I want to go to you next. This episode featured one of the biggest lies in MCU history, and I'm not here for it, okay? You had Jennifer say, how did you escape one of the most secure bases in the world? We just saw, a month and a half ago, some regular-ass humans walk right out of that fucking door. So I'm just saying, how secure is this fucking place?
She doesn't know that.
No, but the fact that she still thinks it means they kept a lid.
Of course they did. You think they let that get out? Of course they did. 100% they did.
Well, as soon as she said that, I paused the episode and I said, wait a minute. Did I not just watch some regular ass fucking people walk right out of that door?
Not gonna lie, I was like, clearly wasn't the same place then. That's clearly wasn't the same place.
Obviously they weren't guarded as hard as Blonsky is. So,
No, definitely not.
Well,
But-
clearly Blonsky wasn't
Well,
guarded
not
hard
regular
enough.
either.
Well, no, because remember, Wong just sort of portaled in, got
Yeah,
him right.
Wong came right out. They walk out of, but no, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. I apologize, Didge and Trayvon. You guys are absolutely right. When I say they walked right out of the door, I mean that because it seemed like
You're not
once
wrong.
they stopped the people in the room, there was no other defense.
No, you're not, you're not wrong at all. I know exactly what you mean. I'm telling you, I heard it. I thought for a second, I was like, all right, wasn't the same place then. Couldn't have been.
Yeah, they just weren't gonna let that out. They were gonna be like, oh shit, he's gone.
I'm telling you,
out the press.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, Trayvon.
Hopefully he come back. Shit.
Kevin Feige heard you say that and was just like, yeah, I like what Didge said. It's not the same place. The fuck up's not on us. It's not the same place.
Every guard who was on duty that day has disappeared. Their family got paid off.
They're gone.
Nobody knows that happened.
Nobody remembers that at all. Nobody remembers. But no, what were your thoughts, Didge, on this episode?
I enjoyed the episode a lot. One of the things I like about this series in general is it reminds me, I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched it, but Franklin and Bash. It's another comedic sort of lawyer show.
Yeah.
I loved that show.
It did not last long, but
it didn't. I think it only lasted like 4, maybe 5 seasons. But it was great because it was a lawyer show that was basically full of hijinks, and that's what I get from this series.
Yep.
So like the episode, this episode today, when you are dealing with a whole thing with a shape-shifting elf, it's like, you know what? A superpowered lawyer show would have a hijink that's like that. You would have a hijink where a shape-shifting elf is going to be taking, identity theft essentially. So it's one of those series where I'm honestly not looking too much for the overarching storyline. I like the fact that it sort of just sprinkles in a little something that compares to that connects it to the outside world while still just really being a sitcom. Like I was telling you guys beforehand, I'm a sucker for a good sitcom. I promise I can turn off my brain completely for a good sitcom if it makes me laugh enough, and this does. So I don't think too much about it other than that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, we're all here. We all like the post-credit scene, minus Trayvon, but you know, we all enjoyed it.
You did like it?
All time great. All time great.
He's Team Nikki.
Yeah, he's too Nicky. That's the
But it still was dumb either way, though.
No,
it was dumb.
You would not have said that if Nikki was in there, Trayvon. You would not have said that. You know damn well you wouldn't.
I like that you're consistent though with it. He
I
literally said, "Hey, you're right."
Yeah, he couldn't lie. He couldn't. He watched Sunday and thought that was a national holiday because it was so much.
Was.
See.
What you mean?
But I will say, Jesus Christ, I will say, Jamie, to the point Didge was just making. Identity theft is no joke. It's a family stuff every year. I will say though, what is very accurate to what Didge was saying, Jamie, is to read a She-Hulk comic. This is very apropos to a She-Hulk comic. It's essentially this chaotic to a degree.
Really?
You never know who pops up,
Yeah,
right?
it's one of those.
You never kind of know.
Honestly, it's like you're reading a sitcom. That's why, because I didn't know too much about her before they had announced the series. Afterwards, went and read, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun.
There's not many characters in the MCU, and Joel, you can jump in here, that I've ever seen that I thought I'll say heroes. Let me not say characters as a whole. Heroes that I think are drastically different than their comic counterparts. I think there's always a semblance of it that you look at and you kind of go, yeah, in somebody's iteration of that character, that's what the MCU's doing, right? Or it's a blend of two different people's visions of that character. It's usually nothing like way left that you're just like, I'm sorry, what? Like, who the fuck is that even that I'm looking at?
Or like you said, they'll take bits and pieces of like
Right.
5 different runs
to make up
yeah,
one
this
character.
is our run. Like,
Yeah, that's what they're doing with this. It's basically
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So to me, like I said, Jamie, I hope it just gives you more of what you're looking for. Doesn't necessarily get better for you. It just gives you more of the things you want.
It could.
No,
I guess I can understand. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Whoever was going.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead, Didge. No, go first, Didge. Go ahead, and then I'll go.
I was just gonna say, well, I can understand when she said that she didn't say she didn't enjoy it. She just didn't watch a lot of The Office or Modern Family, or probably even Parks and Rec, like those
modern sitcoms.
These
shows.
All great shows. I love all of those shows. But this feels like it feels like it's going along, not even necessarily the exact same line, but you can tell it feels inspired by those.
Because I mean, The Office was supposed to be a show just about the average workday, and they did everything but fucking work. So
Right.
It's like this fits right in.
I think that the reason why I would be able to enjoy those shows more, being comedies, is because, like, you know, that's within its own isolated thing. It's not within like some big like cinematic universe where like we're trying to put the puzzle pieces together. Although admittedly, I do feel like fans are too critical, myself included, and not just able to like enjoy something. And so I don't know if I'm just being too critical and I'm like, what the hell? Where was the puzzle piece of this one? Where does this connect to everything else? I don't know if I'm like that. Or if it's like they literally just didn't really accomplish anything this episode, and I was like, what did I do for like 30 minutes? Like, what did I learn?
I mean, to be fair, Mike was the executive producer of She-Hulk, and he specifically asked Feige to not make it connect. He does not have to do homework. He can just go right in, enjoy it for what it is, and that's what you just watched 25 minutes of today, Jamie. It's non-connective to a degree. Pure
it's definitely
fun.
a fair thing, though, when you think about a show that's supposed to be a major connective universe, where it's like,
hashtag bless. Absolutely.
But no, you're thinking like, man, this is supposed to drive not only the plot of this series, but it's supposed to move along the entire universe. But it's the beauty of it is that it's those things, and I don't know, maybe you guys have never had that thought, but I always think about like, man, what is the average person doing when when all this stuff happens during the Avengers? Like, so how do you deal with that? Like, how do you go to work the next day?
Yeah.
And I feel like this gives kind of a glimpse at that. Even though she's superpowered herself, she's still dealing way more with the mundane everyday life that you are in the overarching MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget, Jamie, the most important thing. That was very well said. But also don't forget, what was the first thing Jen told Bruce? I don't want to be a superhero. I want to be a lawyer. Right. So in Jen's mind, if she wasn't working in this superhero division, she'd probably be She-Hulk. Never. Right? So you're building up to what kind of influences her to want to be a hero.
The end of this episode.
Then once that happens, right?
She sees her reflection. She's like, I liked that.
Right. So once she embraces it, I think, because you remember we were telling. Well, I'm sorry, Jamie, you weren't here for the other two episodes, but me and Joel were saying, if you read a She-Hulk comic, she's She-Hulk. That's it. There is no turning back and forth. She's just She-Hulk. She embraces just being She-Hulk.
That's also budgetary though here.
Well, no. I'm saying to be fair, I don't think she's mentally there. Let's say Disney was willing to spend whatever to make her She-Hulk all the time. The character mentally is not there yet. It's still fresh from her just telling Bruce, I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to be She-Hulk.
But I also feel like budget influence. I feel like they told the writers,
no, 100%.
First half of the series, she's not ready to be a superhero yet because we're not paying for this.
100%.
We're not paying for that.
Wean it in.
100%. We thought Sandman in No Way Home was just a voiceover to like the last 3 seconds of his appearance in that movie. We're like, oh shit, you actually were.
You were in the whole time.
I did not know, man. You did a good job. You did a real good job.
Hilarious.
So it's more so the character development, Jamie. Of she's not mentally there yet, but she's getting there. And once she's there, I think you'll get more. I'm Hulk, right? Mm-hmm. I think she's just not mentally there yet. Right. And we know what the costume will look like, and it's going to be awesome. Very accurate.
And we know when she uses it. We have an idea. When the shit looks like it's going to get really fun. So hopefully.
And let's not even forget, Jamie, we're not even at the point yet where we know where Dig's favorite man, Daredevil, even comes into play.
Oh, God.
Like, we don't even know anything about that yet.
I'm taking the Trayvon role that episode.
Oh man, look, I'm not putting words.
You gotta hold back the things you hate or love over here, man.
I'm not. Since when? Since when?
They get used to get you.
Oh, you're damn right they do. Yeah, you're damn right they do. You're not wrong there. Yeah, you're not wrong there. But don't act like you get muffled around here. We be hearing all your thoughts, Trayvon. Ain't no muffled around here. Yeah, I can't wait for Dig's reaction to Daredevil. Oh, it's gonna be so beautiful. Oh, so sick.
It's gonna be
if we put that up, Mike. Put that up so the audience knows Trayvon's catchphrase. If it ain't witching, he bitching. That is Trayvon's catchphrase. That is his catchphrase. We are still working on getting shirts made, guys. Stay tuned for that. New York Comic Con won't know what hit him when Trayvon rolls out with those shirts. You're gonna have so many people like, can I get one? And you're like, you damn sure you can. But Joel, I'll go to you next. What were your thoughts on this episode of She-Hulk?
I enjoyed it again. I really did. Maybe it wasn't as strong as the other two. I wouldn't disagree with that. But I did still enjoy it. Because it is a comedy and it does the jokes do land for me, so it works. And I am a big fan of sitcoms. All the comedies you guys are mentioning, I went through them, and I'm looking for more because I always like having one in the reserve. So you need sometimes just some levity, you know what I mean? Right. And I do love me some comedies, and this one definitely works for me. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and she's great as She-Hulk. Even though like there are times like her in her pantsuit walking around looks a little choppy sometimes, but when that one scene where I thought in the trailer she looked choppy, she looked great talking to Wong, sitting there. I'm like, okay, she looks really good in this scene.
Yeah, I will say, Joel, one of the things, it doesn't bother me, but it does go to why I'm kind of with Jamie to where I can't wait to where we get to the point where we see more She-Hulk. It is a little distracting seeing her as Jen wear these baggy ass suits so that when she transforms it fits.
Yeah.
It's like, well, just fucking be She-Hulk. like it is a little annoying just looking at her just sagging in it, right?
Even when she's She-Hulk, it's a little loose. Like,
it is because it seems like she can't gauge it, right? She can't gauge what's too baggy for me that fits just right for She-Hulk, right? And it kind of is like there's
that's
a
a trial and error.
going.
It is.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, because look, Bruce did. Think about it. If you're Bruce, all you're worried about is shorts, right?
Right.
Like you can walk around with your chest and abs out, right?
Sure.
She does not have that luxury, so it's very much just like I got to figure out how to work this, and I got to be in a professional workspace where I got to wear the dress. It's hard
because you can't have her in tights the whole time. That's a little too provocative.
Not
for someone like that.
Not because you think her being a hero in court is a problem.
Right.
Watch half that jury box go. No, whatever she says. But go ahead, Joel. I'm sorry.
I do like the fact that she brought up. Literally, it was a nice fourth wall break when I think Pug walks in after finally talking with Bukowski.
Yeah.
And he's such a pain in the ass type of thing, and it's like, oh look, the A plot meets the B plot. I love that. No one ever really talks about that, and that's what it really was. The Bukowski, that was a B plot. That was just to keep the show going, and the A plot was really her and the Blonsky, right? So
and
that was
really quickly. I didn't think of this till you just said it, Joel. But to Jamie's earlier point, not the elf specifically, but what was important about doing that art for this episode. Think about this. It's a superhero law division. We only know Blonsky. that's a super that's been represented. So it's like you might see more episodes where these elves or one-off characters get introduced because you can't be a law firm for supers. And we only see two supers. Your lawyer, and then the defendant that you just got freed. There should be more supers popping up there.
You got a whole division for just two people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That'd be the weirdest thing ever. That's a lot of money to just go her and then the person she's defending. That's all we got room for here. It's
I agree.
Then you know what it feels like, Jamie? If they continue it that way, it feels like the same joke Deadpool made in Deadpool 1 where he goes, "You guys couldn't afford any other Fox characters. It's only these two. Nobody else you can afford." It'll feel like that. It'll feel cheap if it keeps being just Jen that we see walk those halls as a super. So you got to start introducing more. And it could be one-offs. It doesn't have to be anybody important. You know what I'm saying?
She mentions it too. She mentions the cameo.
Oh,
even overshadow her. Sorry.
I remembered actually. In the previous episode of She-Hulk, they had a thing where she was on the internet or something, looking at jobs or whatever. And one of the articles on the side said something about a man in bar attacks someone with metal claws or something.
Yes.
So that would be, I would be down for that. See somebody with some metal claws.
Gotta defend him because I defend the antics of the bar fight.
Yeah.
I don't know how forgiving the world will be if you introduce Wolverine in a too highly comedic show.
Yeah.
They will never let they would not let the world exist. They would riot,
and I would laugh so hard at them rioting.
Okay, the Hulk.
That is hilarious. But no, go ahead, Joel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I like I was saying, I enjoyed. I love the fourth wall breaking, and they don't take themselves too seriously. And then the whole idea of the internet being outraged over a female Hulk and shit, like it was her decision. I love that. It's very real.
Except for the one kid, when the one kid somebody smashed.
But you know what I love? You know why I love that you brought that up, Joel, is because again we talked about this last week. Go on Twitter, and you look at the misogynists that dislike this show. They sound a lot like those people they just showcased in the episode. Yeah. So it was very much like a reflection of society today. Yeah.
I know
and how they're not willing. Oh, they looked at it like, oh, you dare shove it in my face? Yeah, that's what you look. That's what you sound like.
Came from that stuff.
They probably looped it in. They probably looped it right in.
Yeah, 100%. Made a quick edit
from the trailer. I'm sure that's when it started.
That's exactly when it started. That is for sure.
It was amazing how many people were like, how could they create a female Hulk? Why would they do this just for the MCU? And I'm like, but you're supposed to be a comic book fan.
Right.
You're big on, oh, I know comic books. Like, what are we doing here?
It's been around a long time, but
There are some comic book fans, Didge, that wake up each morning and go, I've only read male comic books. It's like,
Fair.
oh, well, your life sucks. Like, I can tell you, there's a lot more open comic books that are a lot better than the ones that you're honing in on so tightly. But
Oh, they would hate Squirrel Girl. They would hate her so much.
you know what they would hate most about Squirrel Girl is how powerful she is.
Right.
Because, like, you hear Squirrel Girl and you're like, oh my god, she talks to squirrels, who gives a shit? And it's like, well,
And she beats everybody.
you can ask Thanos. You can ask Thanos what he thinks about Squirrel Girl. He'll let you know Squirrel Girl ain't nothing to fuck with. She's like Wu-Tang. Squirrel Girl's like Wu-Tang out here. But yeah, so I like that you brought that up, Joel, because it very much is like a reflection to society and how everyone acts. So I like that you brought that up.
I did. I like that. I like that she brought up the cameos. Like another cameo.
And then she did to go
My
to what Mike was
show,
saying
dude.
in the comments, where Mike was going, it's the Wong cinematic universe. She does speak to, like, I know you guys love Wong. I know.
I love
But it's
that
my
too.
fucking show. Like, you're here for me. And it's like, yeah.
Wong's gross.
Fully here for the WCU.
It's funny that she says that, because I am here for She-Hulk, all jokes aside. But
Yeah.
I will say, what did give me an extra boost when it was just like, Daredevil might show. I'm like, Daredevil might show.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
That's why they did it.
Like-
That's why they put it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly why it was in the
well,
show.
I'm like, well, not to be
I don't
mean, Jen, but I am kind of looking forward to
Well, Wong was in the
that.
trailer.
To that other
Honestly,
That.
I think the scene from the trailer that sold me on this show is just like her trying to pick up guys on Tinder as She-Hulk. I'm like, I want to see what that was
that's gonna
about.
be funny.
What is this?
Yeah, I know that's
Like
fair.
that
Wait,
seems
Dom,
funny
you
to
saw-
me.
You saw the first four, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. No, so I mean, they marketed so much about the show, but that's how chaotic I believe She-Hulk's world is in the comics, right?
Mhm.
That at any moment she could represent anybody, at any moment she could fight anybody.
Bruh.
Like it's that
The
revolving door.
TVA I
you
remember
never
from
expect.
She-Hulk comic books. Like, you know, the shit
I don't even
from
remember
Loki.
it from that. Yeah, I don't even remember it from that.
Her shit gets crazy. Her shit gets crazy.
There you go, Jamie. She-Hulk be living that crazy ass life out here. So I'm just
I'll
very curious
change
to see
my-
how. No, don't change. Like I said, I just want to see where your head's at when we get to like at least 6.
Yeah.
Right. Where we
I
only
think
got
I
3
think
more
it definitely
left, and
was like
better-
an expectation thing. So I'm like,
That's
maybe
fair.
I thought I came into this open mind. Maybe I need third eye kind of level of open. I don't know.
You know what's funny about you saying that? Me and Joel experienced that a lot coming out of Eternals. People had expectations of what they thought that movie was gonna be, and then they saw it and they were just like, well,
Yeah. Even
that
me.
wasn't what
Even
I
me.
thought.
I walked in there.
Like-
I didn't like it as much as I was expecting to like it. I still enjoyed it, but
Mm,
I know I'm like, wow. Well, I think a lot of it had to do with them killing off a lot of people I liked in that movie.
that is
Like,
fair.
I'm like, God damn it.
Joel knows I was only looking for 2 things. I was looking for my accuracy of the Icarus shot, and I was looking for the real reason they should be on fucking Earth. And when I got that at the end rather than the beginning, I said, you know what? I'll call it a day. I'm happy. I'm fine. So I think for She-Hulk, like I said, I'm curious what your mindset is after episode 6, where we only got 3 more episodes left, is pretty much painted out everything. And then you can give us a better idea. So,
Yeah.
Which version?
Which version of the Wrecking Crew at the end? Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Stage
That
one.
was the easiest way to do the Wrecking Crew without making them too much of a joke that it makes it stupid.
They
right.
are silly characters.
They are extremely silly, but if you make them too much like their comic counterparts,
Yeah, they'll
it
look
gets
even
even
sillier.
more sillier.
Yeah.
Even more silly.
Maybe they get I'm not gonna say they are. I don't want to. I'm just assuming. Maybe they get hulked up at one point because they're big as fuck in the comic.
They
book.
are, because
These
they got
guys are normal
enchanted.
looking people.
They
Well,
got
they're-
enchanted.
They're power. Yeah, they get powers and shit.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Right now, they don't have power. They just have enchanted weapons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which, Joel, I want to ask you this really quickly before we move forward. Do you think when they stole these weapons, it might have been during the time of Thor, Valkyrie, and Jane going off-world to fight Gore the God Butcher?
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, they are in the U.S. I mean, unless there's some type of new Asgard, something being built in the U.S. I mean, it may be exported. It might be
Because
some
they
type
might
of
have.
that
They
could
might
be
have.
some easy with the power broker shit, selling shit.
Well, I mean, I could see it more so as whoever hired them, right, was looking for something they thought would be strong enough to take down
to
the
hurt
Hulk.
her. Which
So it was during the time when they found out Thor and them were off world. They sent them there to go steal it because there's no one there to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, like Micah always says, it doesn't need to be that connected. But I have to imagine that if you're able to steal weapons, it has to be when the protectors of Asgard are not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean,
that's a lot harder to accept.
Even if they're not in New Asgard, maybe they didn't necessarily have to steal it from New Asgard. It is
So
only
you're saying there could be a black market.
Because my
for
thing,
Asgard
yeah, it could be a black market, and the thing is, they're not real weapons; they're tools, and they're being used
that
as
they
weapons.
enchant, right? That they enchant, yeah. Which is so weird because I'm like, Asgardians are naturally strong, right? So I'm like, at what point were you like using a crowbar for something that you went, this isn't enough to
Asgardian.
Let me go ahead and enchant it. Like, let me enchant this shit so I can get this off. Like, that's hilarious. But no, Dom, I'll go to you. Oh wait, Joel, did anything else stand out to you?
Not really, unless I probably missed something. But that was most of what I enjoyed. Again, it was a funny episode. The whole Megan thing I thought was funny too. I know a lot rubbed some people the wrong way the post credit, but the post credit scene was a joke. It's like, wow, I didn't take it too seriously. It's not.
Yeah.
To me, that's not the end credit scene people should be offended by. I literally held in my pee for almost 2.5 hours to watch Captain America spin around a fucking chair. So I'm like, if you want to be upset about something, that's where you get upset. Like,
honestly,
that was a fucking waste.
I'm just like, I'm kind of shocked that there have been end credit scenes for like every episode so far. So like, even if we get one that's like whatever, I'm like,
Oh, that's because the
happened,
showrunner, she's a huge fan of end credit scenes in general. So I don't think that this one is going to be one of those ones where the scenes are necessarily supposed to drive the plot. She said she just literally likes doing end credit scenes because it's a little treat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I mean, look, we can not complain, but we Mike, enough. We talked about it before. We talked about it during Moon Knight. There was a level of expecting end credit scenes, and there never really were. Right?
Yeah.
So now this is just like, now you expect it. Watch there be like a string of 6 episodes straight with no end credit scenes. They were like,
I'd be so shocked. After this one, I went and looked it up. Like, why are we getting so many? And that's when I saw the article where she was talking about it. Yeah. So I'd be so mad if I read that, gave everybody the expectation, and then that was the last one.
Yeah.
Going forward,
I'm gonna be like, Gidge told me this, and now we're not getting it. Like, what's
I do know Kevin is sitting somewhere like, all right, maybe the next movie, no end credit scene, have you motherfuckers sit through the whole thing just to see who worked Crane 2. That's it. That's all you picked up. You now know who worked Crane 2. Nothing else. There's nothing else here. But Dom, I'll go to you. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I thought it was fun. It's not like the greatest episode, but I thought it was fun. I'm in this show. I'm looking more for the things that are in the background. So like, I saw again, they on the side of the laptop screen, review of the Iron Man 3s. These shoes might become a thing. I want to see what these shoes look like. Damn it, you don't quit teasing.
Oh, the Iron Man 3.
Yeah. It was on the side of the screen again. Like my real reaction to the Iron Man 3 is cool. Let me see them.
Nike will come out with a collab. Nike gonna have a collab like next week.
You're gonna get that for Ironheart. Ironheart's gonna be rocking them Iron Man 3s. I'm telling you, that's what you're about to get.
But like Joel was saying, the social media backlash on the episode was one of my favorite parts because right at the after watching episode 2, I was on TikTok and I seen people mad about, oh, they nerfed the Hulk and look at this and and I'm like, first off, I don't know how many truly strong dudes these people know, but when you're strong, you get tired of being strong. You know how many times I used to go, hey Dom, help me move. Hey Dom, pick this up. I don't want to no more. Okay, I'm tired. So he's tired. Okay, let him chill. Let him do tinker in the lab and just be swole. Okay, you don't see The Rock punching walls and shit all the time, and he's
Well,
big as hell.
I mean,
Cancel
to
Black
be
Adam.
fair, I don't think there's a video that exists on The Rock's Instagram that's not him just working out just for the hell of it. He's just like, hey guys, in case you forgot, muscles on my muscles.
Let
It's
them,
like,
let
we
them
didn't forget.
tell him that there's not going to be a Black Adam 2. You will see The Rock punching all of them. every wall in America will be punched, even your wall.
Oh man.
I will say to everyone, if you didn't notice, if you go back to the scene where she finally decides to control her narrative and go on that talk show, at the bottom of the screen, as the guy asks her about the name, and she answers, it says, "She-Hulk did not come up with this name." Just remember that for next week.
Sorry.
So she didn't come up with her name.
Yeah, remember how'd you come up with the name? It was the reporter. I don't know, and it just that's my name. That's my name now, and it's like she didn't come up with it.
Gotcha.
All right, remember that.
Oh man, I gotta like sue her.
But yeah, I mean, the episode was fun. Like you guys were saying, that it wasn't something to be taken seriously. It's just putting things in place for later, like the Wrecking Crew, who don't have a budget right now. They're like, hey, we're not gonna give you no money. See if you can do it without any kind of funding. We'll give you some weapons. You couldn't do it. We'll see them later, probably with some better weapons, better suits, maybe some bootleg serum where they get to be strong for 15 minutes or something. I don't know.
Think about that. They definitely got all right. Let's try this out first.
Yeah.
Oh man, all right.
That's what it seemed like. They weren't like trying to kill her. They were like, oh, retreat, it didn't work. Let's go back. The boss is gonna be mad. So it's like I think we're gonna see them a lot. Because it seemed like when I was reading about them, they're always around. They're just kind of like they do shit. They go to jail. They break out. It's just rinse, repeat. And you always kind of need that like subtle comic relief, because it is funny that they like, yeah, you want to walk around flaunting your muscles and stuff. She's like, I flaunt my powers? What are you talking about? Like, she even forgot she had them. She's like, oh wait, let me. Super Saiyan, okay.
She was terrified. She was like, "Oh my god, please no!" Like, "Oh wait, no." Like, I can kill you guys. I forgot.
But yeah, I think it's setting up a lot of things. I think, come episode like 5 and 6, I think it is going to be like really in the thick of what the show is getting to, and I think it's going to have hold some weight to the next big thing going forward. But no, overall, it's a fun episode. I know people before we got on, I saw people like they were pandering. Look at the twerking, and look, man, people want to be excited about things. Let them put some Gen Z shit in the show because they want more people to watch it, and just it's fun. You know what I mean? So it did look a little weird seeing this giant ass She-Hulk twerk. Because she low-key ain't got no ass. But
that's what it is.
That's why we said she was twerking her Brussels sprouts. That's why
it was all shoulder. It was like
baggy clothes don't help.
That was a lot of trying. That was a lot of trying. Like,
that was definitely the first time in that new body too. So we gotta give her a little pass.
Give her a chance.
Give her a break. Give her a break.
To be fair, I don't know how confident she would have twerked if not She-Hulk, right? Because like you could twerk as She-Hulk, and then if somebody's like, "Oh, you can't twerk," snap their neck, right? But like if you're a regular Jin, if you're a regular Jin, yeah, if you're a regular Jin, but somebody's like, "Ew, you can't twerk," you just gotta sit there like,
thick thighs save lives.
We've known that to be true. We've known that to literally be true.
I am curious with Blonsky though, like if they can't get the blood from her, we see that Blonsky's got control of his self now. Do they go? Now he's released. Do they go after him? Does somebody?
Well, I don't think you would want to go after him because his blood is spliced with Bruce's, and that's true. To a degree. You don't know how well you can control whatever the
impure
outcome
version
is. Right. It's muddled with too
even
much.
more now. Yeah, with him,
Yeah.
especially with his. Yeah.
So I'm like, Jin's is very much like if you just want a controllable Hulk or a controllable monster, right? And you can perfect whatever she has in her body, and she's able to turn it on and off, right? And essentially be the same person both ways. I think whoever's after her blood kind of wants that more purity version of it.
Hey, if you can't make it to Walmart, you're gonna hit the dollar store. So you might they gotta go with what they can get, especially because he's technically not supposed to transform. They're gonna give him the inhibitor, so he's an easy target.
I am curious how many people do know that he's able to do that, because remember the last time we saw Abomination, he was Abomination, and the time before that he was Abomination. He was never Blonsky again.
Right.
This is new for us. So it's like I wonder how worldwide that is that he could do that.
Oh, that people know?
That people know he can go back and forth. Because even the board was just like, oh shit, you could just, oh, what? Like, what? Like, okay, go back down. And it's like,
well, because they assumed he was uncontrollable when he does
right,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Now to know that he can control it, I wonder how many, because remember, Bruce couldn't control it till recently.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And he had been the Hulk for over a decade.
Right.
That board is full of old people. You can't trust them. So you never know who they're going to tell.
We do be knowing.
Bruce still can't change back, though, right? He still can't change back.
No, I think now he can. After,
no, he said the thing was keeping him.
But remember, that's why he used her blood to. I thought we're using
to
her
heal his
blood.
arm.
Oh, I thought it healed. I thought it healed everything. Where now he can change too.
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't
granted,
know.
Ever since we didn't see him as Hulk, but
he said he blend. I'm with Ditch here because he did say that he was able to successfully blend the two.
But
so it seems like he could go between
all the time.
Yeah, I'm saying to be fair, he is still just Hulk. Like, why wouldn't he?
You know what I think?
As Bruce, then?
I do believe he thinks at the very least that he's found the way, because he is, because now he's in Hulk form. Right. So he's melded the two.
Still,
but I think he's the dominant personality right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Hulk is still back there somewhere. You know what I mean?
And that's why I said the leader with his mental powers, Dom's Distrust with the Elderly is my favorite running gag. Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, they can't be trusted.
Does it hit at like a certain age? Like if you're like 53, does it like at 54? That's when the trust ends.
Yeah. What's your cutoff line?
Man, if your face starts to kind of sag, I don't know, man.
Okay. Dom, what do you do? Like if you're asking for directions and you're looking at someone, do you go like, "Hey, how old are you?" 63. No, roll up the windows.
If the face isn't saggy, he just said the face isn't saggy, you're good. So
if it's a guy, he better have a beard. I don't see it.
Yeah, like Keanu. I can trust Keanu because he can't see any of the sag.
I'm just picturing every old woman in America growing out a fake beard, so Dom make sure Dom can trust me. But yeah, I don't know, because I thought I was under the impression, Didge, and I have to just rewatch it, but I was under the impression the inhibitor was for the arm, and then once her blood, once he found out that she was a Hulk, he figured out a way to kind of splice what she has into him to fully heal the arm. But he just does not want to just be Bruce all the time. That's just what I chalked it up to.
The inhibitor, I thought the inhibitor was keeping him in human form.
So it could heal.
Yeah, so it could heal like a human.
But you were, I'm sorry, I may have made a mistake here somewhere, Ditch. I thought you were saying, why can't he turn back into human? And that's why I was saying, I think he can. I think it's just a want, and he does not want.
That was my statement. Wasn't why couldn't. I just said I can see what someone was saying that he can't because we haven't seen it.
Oh, got you. That's what you said. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, to me, I just take it more so as a
just think that he just actually doesn't want to. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, now that you could blend both sides and there's no danger of being a Hulk, why wouldn't you just be a Hulk?
Also fair.
Why need the inhibitor then?
Because I think that was for his arm. For his arm at the time.
Like to actually heal the arm.
Right. But remember, he said in the bunker to Jen, because of her blood, now it's fully healed.
But again, I'm not gonna lie, didn't understand in the first place. Would have thought being a Hulk would have helped your arm heal better anyway.
That's what you would assume.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, didn't understand that in the first place.
I didn't understand. Well, that's the thing. The Russos wanted it to be like permanent, like he couldn't heal it.
Right.
But they're
And
retconning
Kevin was just
because
like,
there's
"Hey."
obviously plans for that
Makes
most.
sense,
Yeah,
though.
Kevin
Thank you,
definitely
Sean.
said, "Hey, they already shit on me for the small change we made to Hulk. We can't lose an arm. we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that." But that's why sometimes the MCU is a bit disjointed, where it's just like, well, you don't really make all the sense in the world, but okay, fuck it. I enjoyed it.
They might miss the first time or second, but they'll get there.
I mean, I still to this day
Eventually.
laugh whenever, like, go look at the interviews of the Russo brothers explaining the end of Endgame, and then the writers explaining the end of Endgame. They have two different views, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you worked on the movie together. How is it you view it this way, but you view it that way? That's so weird to me. But when you listen to them talk, they view it two separate ways. Weird. But all right, Trayvon, the moment is yours. Moment is yours. Let us know your thoughts on this episode.
Oh no, I've been convinced. The episode is great. Let's see.
Well, that's a lie.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. No. Go ahead, Trayvon.
Short and sweet.
Goodness gracious. Go ahead. Let you get away with that shit.
I kind of agree with Jamie with the elf thing. Like, I felt like it was funny at first, but then it went on a little too long. I was like, okay, all right. And I really do feel like despite my bias, I admit it.
As long as you acknowledge it.
But
That's healthy.
it felt like she got her money's worth, and they just kept saying her name. Like, we're gonna use the hell out of this as much as we can throughout this episode. I got tired of hearing those 3 words over and over again.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This show did a very big thing for me. Okay, and this might be a color barrier. I've been calling her Meg the Stallion, D-A, since her beginning, right?
No,
it wasn't until this show where they were like, Megan the Stallion. And I'm just like, I've never heard it like that. Meg the Stallion. That's how I've always said it. Meg the Stallion.
You don't follow her?
So I'm like, when they're like, Megan the Stallion.
Like,
no, I don't follow her on social media.
That word.
I did after this episode.
Meg
no, I didn't.
yeah,
it's Meg the Stallion. So I'm like, when they're like Megan the Stallion, I'm like,
her name pops up a lot on my screen.
Sorry, Joel. We know you catered it that way, but no, go ahead, Trayvon.
I'm not
What you
arguing.
were saying. Joel was just like, "How do I get these algorithms?" But go ahead, Trayvon.
I guess and I think I got annoyed because I was like, I don't think we needed any more of that douchebag lawyer, the one that they worked with before. I was like,
He helps balance it. I think he helps balance.
Rather not.
I 100% think he helps balance it. 100%.
rather just not be on screen.
Anyone who watches The Office, the reason why I said I think he helps balance it. If you watch The Office, his character is 100% the Ryan of this show. Ryan was a douchebag asshole, but he balanced it because everybody was so nice, polite, loving, caring, and then you just had Ryan that's like, I only care about myself. No, even Dwight even showed you complexity.
Nice,
no, not nice, but he showed you how much he cares about everybody. There's never been a point where Ryan cared about himself. I mean, anyone else but himself.
True.
So I'm like, this guy is definitely that.
He's not as selfish.
Right. So I'm like, for me, he helps balance things for sure. And yes, identity theft is no joke. I keep thinking of that episode because what's so funny about about Mike putting that up is the fact that the guy that was in that episode is now a main piece in the MCU. That is hilarious that he keeps putting that up on the screen. But go ahead, Trayvon. I'm sorry.
The CGI was rough for me. When she walked in the office that first time with the hair pulled back, I was like, ooh. I was like, no. What's happening? Where's the budget?
To be fair, me and Dom did warn you guys 2 weeks ago. We did say going forward, it's spotty. It's just not so bad that it takes away from the show. We did prepare you guys.
When she got out of that room, I was like, yes, get out the room. Please. Get out the room.
When she's walking in the hallway, it looks the worst for some reason.
Yeah.
Again, I think they'll learn from this. I don't think you needed to do CGI for something that you could have just painted her green and let the CGI be the enhancement of her height. Indeed. Not everything. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was the weirdest thing ever.
She looks weird against all the very neutral
Yes.
grays
Back
and
on
whites,
campus,
and
yeah.
Yep.
I think that'll get better as they go forward because she's still a work in progress technically. Like this is the first time they're working with her, so it's like you got to see that
Do they
CGI
not-
takes time. You
Do
know?
I
they
just
not
hope
have-
that they go more traditional when they use her in the future. She does not need to be fully CGI at all.
I was wondering. I was like, because as I was looking at, it, I was like,
Definitely
isn't he walking around with dots on his face? And they like,
Yeah, so
are they not doing that to her? Like
they are.
they are? Okay. Ooh.
The problem is
All right.
They are when they're not using the stunt double. Yeah.
It's the texture.
Ooh.
That's the problem, you know.
But that's why I said if you just paint her all green and let the CGI be her height, that's enhanced.
I don't think
it'll be
that would work because I think she does look different when she's the She-Hulk. You know,
I think that's your
Like,
biggest problem.
facial
Though.
features.
That's
she's
my
not
problem.
ever going to be that big either. So it's like you have
Oh
to.
no, of course.
You have
But
to
I mean,
enhance her.
to me, I think my biggest problem is just a lot doesn't make sense when she transforms into She-Hulk. Her hair's straight. Her face looks completely
I don't
different,
understand
like
the hair.
transforms into
I don't
a
know why her hair is
At
completely
least they
straight.
showed it changing when they
Yeah.
showed like
I don't get the hair either.
I don't get why it changes though. I've never seen Bruce go from like regular hair to like an afro. Like that's a big change
Sure.
when you do that.
Afro.
Was her aunt was like, let's get your hair like She-Hulk? Did her aunt say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. You
Yeah,
know.
she said that.
Yeah.
We know
That
what
was-
it really is, but okay, that's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Trayvon.
So okay, the part I guess I like
Hulk
the
looks
most.
different in every movie. She'll get better over time. Bruce has curls. Smart Hulk doesn't.
Takes a
Yes,
lot of time
Bruce
to
does
fill him
have
out.
curls, but the difference is Bruce's curls are not as noticeable. It's Jen's hair going from what it goes to what She-Hulk's goes to.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
The question
For the Hulk,
everyone-
it's barely noticeable.
Yeah.
Like,
It looks better now than ever. See the
Yes.
merge,
Yeah.
and him and Blonsky look good too. You know,
Yeah.
Blonsky also helps because nothing about Abomination looks anything like Blonsky, as
Yeah.
opposed to Hulk and She-Hulk, right? So you get away with a lot more. But
Yeah.
his looks clean. But again, I think the only reason why Blonsky and Bruce look so clean is the longevity of how long you've had to work with those looks and
that
make it look
Blonsky
better
look
over
is
time.
new. It's a new look.
No, but I'm saying you just use it for Shang-Chi. You use it for this, so you've had time with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's gotten
You had
better.
a movie budget to do that one.
Also, but it doesn't look cheap here. It doesn't look cheap here.
No, I'm saying so you have that from a movie budget. You've
Oh,
already
right.
made
I
it,
see what you're saying.
and you bring it here. You didn't have one for her.
I think it just doesn't help. Her pant. I think she doesn't look the best in her pantsuit. I don't know what it is about the pantsuit.
Exactly.
It does not
And
look.
she
in the
also
pantsuit.
should stop tying her hair back. That
And that doesn't. That
Yes.
doesn't- yeah, that does
Yes.
not help.
That's
And again,
the
look,
worst.
I will say this sounds really horrible from a majority of guys trying to tell a woman how to look. That's not what we're doing.
It's
We're
not her.
saying
Not her
That's
style
been
that we
quiet
care
We're
about.
this entire
saying-
time.
this is how you can make the CGI look better. That's what we're
I was
trying to
thinking
say.
that a little bit. Like, damn,
I
they got
know,
a lot to
that's
say
why-
about her
that's-
appearance.
That's
Why
why.
be quiet?
I
We're
know.
talking about
That's
the
why.
CGI. I ain't talking about how
Not
she
about to
look.
cancel
Right.
me. Not about
Jamie
to
was
get
taking
You
canceled.
ain't
notes.
canceling me. I can
Okay.
talk.
All right. Let's see.
Not getting canceled.
Jamie
Look.
Jamie was sitting there going, "How can I not
Look,
be?"
I'm in the middle,
here?
okay? I'm in the middle, okay?
It's just
I'm in the middle.
them.
I'm like, I want to get out of this situation.
But yes, let me be very clear. We're not trying to structure how she goes about looking. We're just saying if the CGI is going to be this choppy, there are some things you could do to reduce how choppy it looks going forward. That's all we're saying. But I do appreciate the curls, and I kind of wish they found a better way to implement the curls into transforming into She-Hulk. You know, if Jin was going to have curls, just go all the way with it. It's very weird. It's just very
I
weird.
like the straight hair on She-Hulk, but yes, I get what you're saying.
No, to me, I like it too, Joel, but I would have then preferred for Jen to have straight hair. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, consistency, people.
That's all we're asking for.
I mean,
That's
I did fan cast Alexandra Daddario, but they didn't want to listen. So, like,
She,
You know what I thought about today, and Trayvon, I'm kicking it right back to you. I am really glad that we're in 2002 and not 2013, and I say that because you guys know who the world would have fan casted as She-Hulk in 2013, right? Would have been Gina Carano.
oh yeah,
Because Gina Carano is who everyone said should be Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
She-Hulk. Any female that has a semblance of muscle should be Gina
Yeah.
Carano.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're out of those times because I like who my She-Hulk is, and I'm glad they thought outside of the box
She's a
rather than
very
just
good
like,
actress.
well, we got to get somebody that looks as strong as She-Hulk, and then the acting thing we'll worry about later. Like, no, that should be numero uno, and then the physique is what you worry about later.
I don't know if I could have brought her in a comedy.
No.
Well,
No.
her being in the show would have been the comedy itself, like without a script. Just looking at her would have been, this is kind of funny. Like, I'm gonna laugh at this.
I don't want to be a hero, Bruce.
Right? Like, she would have looked at Bruce, and Bruce would have been like, "You're almost as big as I am." Shit. Like good. Go back to Jin. She goes back to Jin, still bulk. It's like, oh wait, no, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this at all. I don't want to play this game.
Here.
Right. I don't want to play this game at all. It's why me and Joel kept saying to think about Gina Carano next to Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck is terrifying. Like, I don't need all three of them to be that massive. That's just, oof, God. Oh, man. Too much. But, Trayvon, to go back to you. Those were the dark days of fan casting because people were really not creative at all.
I mean, that's still creative, but you know.
I was going to say, creativity did not make the leaps and bounds.
Oh, man. Dodging those. Gina Carano for everything. It's like, oh, how do you feel now? All right, then. Trayvon, what else stood out to you this episode?
I really like the parole hearing, I guess you call it. The wives or whatever he had lined up was a little weird, but you know, whatever. I mean, they're fanatics, I guess, because they really enjoy what he transformed as well.
Yeah.
All right.
They sure damn, they swore.
You know that they got some text like, oh, you thought the Blonsky was crazy. You see the abomination? And they were like, yo, go ahead and send that shit through. Send that through. Let me see.
Let me get that.
They didn't, they didn't seem all that shocked. They were just like, interesting.
All the abomination selfies they probably got.
Come back. Yeah, I like the one showed up and then they were like, you realize you did a crime, right? I was like, yeah, but how you gonna catch him though? Right. I was doing the same thing. All right, bye. All right, thanks. Bye. Like, I gotta go. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was cool. Like I said, the post-credit scene was like, okay, sure, that's what you do. Well, you have to pay her to use it as much as you can. I mean, do the thing that she's known for. Yeah, and you know,
did you see those eyes when he looked down?
some heat there. What she do?
That's what she's known for. So use her for it.
I could kind of see it a little bit because I was kind of hoping. I don't know. It wouldn't be so stereotypical, like exactly what I would have expected. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's just like a one episode thing. It was fun.
Is it?
To me,
that's the
I
problem.
appreciated it.
They're coming back.
I think it is.
I told y'all.
They're not double downing. They're not.
More twerking down the line.
It won't be.
There could be more twerking. I just don't know if Meg will be there.
She-Hulk does a different kind of clap.
Right.
Oh Lord! Oh no!
I will say though, what I appreciated about it, not necessarily the twerk, but what I appreciated it was how adult this show was willing to go. Because if I were to tell you that the MCU had twerking in it, you would go, not the fucking MCU.
Well, the dude saying, I don't know about y'all, but I'd smash.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. I appreciate all those things because it's like, that's true.
I guess for me, because I just saw her in P-Valley as well. It seems like she's just herself in everything. I'm like, you're not. You're not acting. It's just you just being you. It's not like.
I mean, that's what Cardi B does.
Nothing.
Cardi B. That's right.
Yeah.
Next one. That's next season.
Oh man.
I might got lead in MCU, Lord. Okay.
Third
I might
season,
stop watching this shit.
I'll get room for Nikki in the third season.
Cardi B in the courtroom would be crazy.
Yo, Mike, what?
Yeah.
What did
I
you
just
put
watched
this group
this.
chat?
I just watched this. Had me crying.
Oh, don't put it up here. Don't put it up here. We don't need to get canceled. Goodness gracious. Trayvon, stop hating.
I miss that.
But what else stood out to you, Trayvon, outside of
nothing. No, I'm good.
That was it?
Yeah.
The haterade was enough?
Okay. I'm not hating. I'm just speaking
I
facts
don't think
here.
anyone here believes you.
This
But,
look,
but okay.
when you see
I don't
Meg,
think
they
it's
twerking, so they did it.
That's what Wong was looking for. Wong was looking for that.
First
Wong was
draft.
just like, where the hell she at? Where the hell she
That's
I
a-
at?
hope it works out for one.
I hope so too. I hope so too. I
Some
hope so
interesting
too.
book.
Those were some wild books to have.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy? I guarantee you right now that if you ask Wong what was the books, he would go, books? I didn't even know she fucking had books in front of her. Hey, I didn't see books.
I didn't pay
Like,
attention
books.
until you guys said something. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
and Wong's like, oh, wait, because I used to be a librarian. That makes sense. I didn't even notice.
What's her
Didn't even
name? Because I didn't look at these books.
Didn't even know. Did you say, let me look at these books?
Yes.
You did not get the joke. All right, we're moving on.
No, he's talking about from the. Cause these are some wild books. That she
Yes,
has.
they are.
It's
Wait,
cool.
Yeah, what books?
After looking for a minute, then you start thinking, like, wait a minute, what the hell does that say?
I still don't know what books. Let's see.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. What?
It was wild. Like,
Yeah, this is-
What? So now it adds even more context to when Wong jumped out of that portal. Like, yo, who ass am I beating? Who the fuck sent me this shit? Like, the fuck is this crazy ass shit you sent me? Racist?
just grab one of the books from
She's
laying
preparing
around.
for the future, man.
yeah.
I can see it. Handmaid's Tale, Testament.
I can
Yeah.
tell you right now. The sleazebag lawyer from the old law firm that she worked at definitely picked
Dennis.
these books for her. Dennis picked these books. He was just like, "Oh, who? What's his race? I got you. Don't even worry. I got you. I got some."
I gotta
great
give
books."
credit to Pug in this episode. He was funny. Like that when the fucking elf came out and pretended to be him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
He
that.
definitely was just
No,
like,
I
"Hey."
like that guy.
Oh, I love him.
He was like, "Hey, you know me, guys." They were looking at him like, "But dude."
Do we though?
He's like, no, I don't. You know me. Like,
They definitely gave him that look like, "No, I believed it. It was you."
he's
He
so
might have said
funny.
some shit like that. Especially if he going up to everybody like, "Hey, there's a secret bathroom."
Yep.
Very voyeur. Like, "Hey, there's a secret bathroom. I want only y'all to use." And it's like, all right, weirdo. Okay.
Check that shit for cameras.
Right. He always disappears when they're like, "Oh, wait, I got to go to the bathroom." All right, me too. let me go too. I do think of The Office. Remember when they set up that room right next to the room they were trying to lure that salesman to? They had the camera set up watching him. You know that's him when they go to the bathroom. Right after he tells them, he runs to that other room. But no, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these next few episodes are of She-Hulk, where they go, when they reveal who wants the blood, when Dige's spirit animal and Daredevil shows up, like when all the really cool shit that we were,
Be happy, Dig. I'm
shown.
happy.
You should be happy, Dig.
I'm glad you're happy.
I don't know
Zero
what you
update
have
for
against the visually impaired. I don't know what issues you have against.
I don't have anything against the visually impaired.
That's now the narrative I'm spinning. So
I know.
until you like Daredevil, till you like Daredevil, that is the
I'm not a
narrative
big fan
I'm
of
going.
blind people. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like them. So that's what Dig said, and that's what we're gonna end on. So everybody, I want to thank.
Ouch.
I want to thank you guys. Oh, obviously,
Blind without my
Morbius
glasses,
wants the blood.
guys.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe. You know what? You know what Dig just did, y'all? Dig just pulled the equivalent of my best friends are black. Like, I don't understand. My best friends
I said
are
me.
black.
I-
No, but that's the equivalent. You're like, I
No,
can't
the
not
equi-
like blind people. I'm
The
blind,
equivalent would have
right?
been. The equivalent would have been. Oh, I mean, my dad,
Catholic
my granddad's
and lawyer.
black, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's how
And-
we're ending this. Oh.
And don't forget, Mike, the most important part of Dig's bio, he runs and we've gone over this, he runs a podcast purely about that stripper show. What's that stripper show called, Trayvon? What's that show
P-Valley.
called? P-Valley. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
I also don't do that.
His podcast is called
I got a question. What's wrong with P-Valley?
Nothing. I'm just telling you that Dig
I'll
has a
listen.
podcast.
I'll
That's
do it.
called It Goes Down in the
Is
Valley.
that
That's the
what was
name of
on my
his podcast.
timeline the other night, Trayvon?
No, that was the show Harlem.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, we are not. No,
yes,
no.
it was.
We're not
Yes, it
going back
was.
down here. We're not
Yes,
going
it
back
was.
down here.
Yes, it was.
So Mr. E does ask as we get out of here. So when is Frogman coming? We have no idea. No
Is
idea.
it? I thought it was Leapfrog.
Well, Frogman is what we more know him as, but they're calling him, like Joel said, they're calling him Leapfrog.
I like Leapfrog better than Frog.
I like Frogman. I like how direct it is. Yeah, I'm a frog.
I don't know.
That's a man.
Leapfrog makes me think of like the kids stuff.
Reading.
Yeah.
Reading.
Damn, look at where y'all go. It makes me have to think about learning and shit. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But obviously Morbius wants the blood. You know what's funny? There were a lot of people that were thinking like, oh, what if Dracula and it leads to Blade? And it's just like, that's a leap, y'all. That is
That
a
is
leap.
a big leap.
That was
That is
Mr.
a
Fantastic.
That is a leap. But
That's
funny thing is, knowing our luck on this show, that will be exactly what it is. It will be the exact connection to Blade is weirdly She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's where we get Dracula.
That's so weird.
Size stretch.
Vampire hopes.
I mean, that would be like
Vampire Hulk.
blood on steroids, right? Like some Hulk blood. That'd be like the
it's
ultimate
really
blood.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That
if
might
he's
be like-
ranking.
It might be
like
drugs poison.
That might be
Secrets
like
of Sonic.
cocaine. Like,
Hey, if he's
he just
ranking,
goes crazy.
if he's ranking, it goes black people's blood, Hulk blood. Like he might have like a ranking bar system here. So yeah, for sure.
I like how black people's blood is above Hulk blood. Like,
You
what's in
know,
our
you
blood
know,
then?
you know we tasty as hell. You know we tasty as hell. You know they can't wait. That's why they love Blade so much. Can't wait to get some of that black blood. You know it. Come on now, you know it. But all right, guys, that's all we got for you. I cannot wait till the next episode. Hopefully, it begins with that feels racist somehow. I'm just telling you like it is. But hopefully, for Trayvon's sake and Digit's sake, next week's episode starts with Meg twerking and Daredevil. That is the best possible way we could start next week's episode. Is with those two.
What
facts.
date is that? What date is that?
What date is
I might
that?
not
The
be here.
8th?
Trayvon,
Yeah, the
you
8th.
keep saying that as if that is a possibility for you. No, you'll
What?
be here next week. he keeps saying maybe I won't be here, like I will allow that. I don't understand why he keeps saying that.
We're gonna drive to
There's no
Maryland.
choice here, Trayvon. There's no choice. Like, what are we talking about here? Only Jamie gets that choice, and that's because Jamie scares me. But outside of that, you don't get that option, Trayvon. It doesn't work for you. But Jamie's like, all right, yeah, all right, respect. But no, thank you guys. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank Dom, Prime, Jamie, Trayvon, Didge, our amazing producer, Mike. And I want to give a shout out to Blake, who wanted to be here, but I think Blake said he's seeing Spider-Man today.
Yeah.
I think that's where Blake's at.
Yep.
Really quickly, I do want to give a quick shout out to Blake. I wasn't able to say it last week because it would have been a spoiler, but Blake did think that when they mentioned Blonsky's 7 pen pals, he was
So
kind
mad
of
about my
thinking
name.
he was thinking that was maybe the a team up of bad guys. No, I did that on purpose.
Oh.
It's okay. He was thinking that might have been a setup for some bad guys, but it's not. It was real 7 pin pals. So shout out to Blake for that. And Jamie is killing it on God of War. Jamie has to get ready for the game of the year to end the year, which will be the new God of War game. I know Didge is looking forward to that. He's counting the seconds, not even
Yes,
the
it will be
days.
that.
He's down to the seconds.
Won't be.
You said it
It
will
will
be
be.
what, Trayvon?
Yeah, it will be game of the year. It wasn't
Okay.
going to be. But no.
Because you thought Hogwarts was coming.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
That was not going to be game of the year.
Oh, yes, it was.
Not over God of War.
Yes, it was.
It'll be good.
It's going to be good, but
It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
It was-
I can tell you which game I'll be playing. If it was
Oh,
coming
well,
out
no,
before.
see, hold on. Now you're saying two different things. Now you're saying what would have been your favorite. There you go. There you go.
Ah.
There you go.
I think Elden Ring probably has
Elden Ring.
a
I think
pretty good
Elden Ring
shot.
might still have it.
Yeah,
God of War might
I
fit.
think so too.
God of War might come
We'll
out too
see.
late to be even considered.
Oh, no. I just meant, I don't mean as far as getting an award. I just meant more so
And boy,
the
Oh,
people
boy.
will speak.
God of
Either
War
way.
comes out next
The
month,
people
right?
will speak. Yeah.
November.
November.
November. There's a slight
Oh my-
chance.
It's a slight. Either way, Elden Ring was amazing. It might. It
can't
might
game that much.
I think Elden Ring has it.
Elden Ring probably definitely has.
Yeah, people have been waiting for that for years.
I love that Trayvon got. Oh, why didn't we put that up, Mike? Put that up. Trayvon got a response from the actress of those books. You got to put stuff like that up. That shit's hilarious.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Mike, can you see it? Can you put that up, Mike? Let me know in the private chat before we end this, because that'd be a great way to end this. Let me see if Kratos. Let me see. Can you see it? Send it. Okay, I'm gonna send it. Because this shit is good, Trayvon. See, you use some of that hater energy. You use some of that hater energy for good.
It's in the She-Hulk group chat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send it to Mike outside of here. I'm gonna send it outside of here.
Dang,
I'm
she
gonna
was
send
quick.
it to ours and
She was.
fast as hell. Trayvon, double down on it. Ask for an interview. Hey, man,
Let's talk about it.
That's sometimes how it goes. Dom, you know that's how it be going sometimes. Good night, everybody. We will not be putting that up. We're done with twerking. We've moved on. We've moved on from those tremendous thunderclaps to talk about other things. So I do like that we're all on the same page of thinking that the brain, or no, fuck, the leader. Sorry, the leader is behind this. I'm just very curious to see if we're right. Like if we're even remotely close to being right. So just because I want to be different, I'm not with you guys. I'm with Val. I'm sticking with Val. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Put on a shirt. Here we go. Can you zoom in some, Mike? There we go. The book selection is wild. And there's a laughing emoji. That is freaking epic, Trayvon. That's how you end this podcast. Getting a shout out. Getting a shout out. Now just secure the interview. And that's all that's missing, Trayvon. All right. So when I talk to you tomorrow, I better see that you had put right under that. Can I interview you?
Slide in her DMs.
Yeah, slide in her DMs.
Can't do that. They closed. I love.
Damn.
They're closed.
You gotta follow, right? Something like that. Yeah.
It's all right. Just put it underneath that comment. See what it gets you. See what it gets you, Trayvon. Sorry. If she can put out a thirst trap, so can we. All right. We can be thirsty too. All right.
Ooh, see, you respond with their own set of questionable books and be like, let's talk about it.
Let's pod about it. That's what you do. That's what you do, Trayvon. That's what you do. There you go.
Have her on next week's show. Special guest.
Yeah, Trayvon. First of all, you gonna let somebody come here and try to outdo us? That's not how we do things in GVN. So you need to send that pic back and let her know what it is. All right.
We found my comic books.
Yes.
We have to okay those comic books before you send it, Trayvon. We gotta okay it. But all right, guys. Again, I want to thank Jamie, Prime, Dig, Dom, Trayvon, our super producer, Mike. I guess Joel. The entire crew here. Yes, that is true. Is the queen, not is queen, is the queen. That'll make Trayvon's night. Really
Oh my God.
Yes, that's how we end the night strong. But all right, guys, till next time. Peace.
Oh, shit.